Hello and welcome to another episode of our From the Helm series, live here at the Gold Coast Resources Rising Stars for 2025. I'm Grady Wolfe, Senior Market Analyst with Bell Financial Group. Arika Resources is an Australian-based company which is engaged in the development and discovery of gold assets in the Tier 1 mining jurisdiction of Western Australia. Justin Barton, Managing Director of Arika Resources, joins me now. Justin, thanks so much for joining us on our From the Helm series, a new unfamiliar face for our investors. For those who aren't quite sure about the Arika story or may not have heard of it, can you tell us about the company and what you've been up to?
Yeah, sure. Look, we're fairly new to the market in that we've acquired two really exciting projects in the Leonora-Laverton area, one of the hottest gold districts in Australia.
Yep. And
we actually sit on two bits of tenure that essentially haven't been explored in 30, 40 years, had no modern exploration, yet both projects have had significant high-grade historical production. We've actually just started systematically and methodically working through drilling exploration and we've been hitting some amazing results. We've got eyes on us from everywhere. All the big boys around us, Genesis, Northern Star, Anglo Shandy, all around us, Bright Star, they're all keeping an eye on us because of the grades we're getting. So it's an exciting time for the company and we're drilling and we're just going to keep drilling for the rest of the year.
Now on those grades, what grades are we seeing exactly?
Yeah, look, we've been drilling at Yundamindra, which is our northernmost project, and that's the one we've been focused on the last sort of 6 to 12 months. Look, some of the grades we've been getting, we've been sort of averaging sort of 30 odd metres at 2 to 3 grams a tonne.
Wow.
Consistent grade. Within there's some high grade pinches as well, but we've been sort of getting that sort of fairly consistently across the project. So, really high grade, thick intersections that looks to be thickening at depth. But the exciting thing with these projects is they essentially haven't been drilled below 50 metres ever. So we're the first ones to drill below 50 metres and we're chasing the source of the thing at depth and trying to find where the centre of gravity is and where the source of this gold's coming from.
How exciting is that untouched ground that you don't know what's down there, but hopefully it's lots of gold. Now, you do have those two key projects you did mention, the Yundamindra and Kookynie project. How did you come to own these projects and why are you so excited about them?
Yeah, look, we had an opportunity through one of our past directors to farm into these projects back in 2019. The projects essentially had been sitting around for a long time. They hadn't really done any work for 15 years on it. And we saw it was just too good an opportunity to miss up. So we actually farmed in and earned our 51% within 12 months. We've now increased that ownership interest to 80%. Wow. And we're in discussions to acquire the remaining 20% from our joint venture partner. Look, what attracted us to us is that number one is location. We're surrounded by multi-million ounce deposits and mines, and we think we have two projects that have the potential to be the next multi-million ounce discoveries. They both have significant historical production, high-grade historical production. Yeah. For example, our Kookynie project had the old Cosmopolitan gold mine. That closed in 1922, around World War I. Now that produced 330,000 ounces at around 19 grams a tonne at the time. It was the most profitable gold mine in Australia at the
huge.
time. And it's amazing to consider that was done with pick and shovels. Yeah. And no one's ever really touched it since. So that's one of the opportunities that we're seeing. And the other ones, and Yundamindra is exactly the same. That produced 74,000 ounces around 90 grams a tonne as well. And that's once again, just had limited exploration. There's been drilling done on it, but when we actually went back and looked at all the historical drilling, there's nothing below 50 metres, or essentially nothing being drilled below 50 metres, which is where the fresh rock starts. So
wow.
It was last drilled around in the 1980s and 90s by Sons of Gwalia. They were tracing high-grade oxide resource, but gold price back then was around $300 an ounce.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. So they didn't follow up some spectacular hits. And something like Pennyweight Point, for example, before we started drilling, the best intersection there was 8 metres at 56 grams a tonne, but it was never followed up. So it was just too good an opportunity. So we were fortunate enough to get hold of some ground that has essentially been untouched in the hot district. And now we're actually doing modern exploration, which is never seen, and we're hitting fantastic results. And that's why everyone's really excited by what we're doing. Yeah,
now speaking of where you are, the Leonora region has been dominated recently by some big players, big grades, big assets that we're seeing. And the success of Genesis Minerals, now a $6 billion company. Now, who are your significant neighbours in the area and why are they all keeping an eye on what you're doing?
Yeah, look, well, you mentioned Genesis.
Yes.
Now, our Kakani project, Genesis surround us essentially.
Oh, okay.
And we've got sort of their strike extension, so they've got their $2.2 million Ulysses operation.
Yeah.
And we sort of strike extensions go straight into our tenure, and we've sort of got the corridor, and we've actually just acquired another sort of 70 odd square metres of tenure in between. So we've sort of got now continuous land holding directly on from Genesis.
Okay.
So they're obviously keeping a really
Very
close
happy
eye,
about that.
eye on us. And then we have sort of Saturn to the east of us as well. It's a bit different profile of company.
Yeah.
And then up at our Yundamindra project, once again, we're surrounded by Genesis, although they're not our direct neighbour. Iceni Gold is, but once again, Saturn is around there as well. But we've also got Anglo Ashanti, Sunrise Dam, sort of the closest to us. But there's multiple mills around us that are sort of hungry for feed, and they're looking at us. All our tenure, well, not all our tenure, all our key prospects on our Yundamindra and Kakani projects all sit on mining licenses already. So that's a really big step up, a big key for our company, and sort of gives us a great opportunity if we want to monetize this fairly quickly. And that's why I think there's a lot of people watching what we're doing. Yeah,
so on the Kakani project, it's been largely neglected for exploration. On the Kakani project, it has been largely neglected for exploration potential moving forward. Why do you think this is, and why does that give you so much upside potential?
Yeah, look, and this probably applies to both of our projects. There's significant historical production, historical prospects on both of our projects. But like I said, they were done in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and back then, no technology, and old timers basically just chased what was outcropping. So there's a bit of outcrops, and we're talking just a pimple of outcrop. That's where they started mining. They'll just mine it till they couldn't see anymore. It's just pick a shovel, and then they'd stop. And so what we're finding is there's been no drilling sort of done beyond those. And so when people have gone back and drilled these things, they've only ever done shallow drilling because they're chasing high oxide resource because of the gold price at the time. And so no one's drilled at depth, no one's drilled for the source of these things. So the opportunity lies at depth and along strike, and anything that was undercover essentially hasn't been drilled. So, over 99% of the tenure we've got is undercover and has never been touched.
So exciting.
So it is really exciting, and it's hard to contain that excitement.
Hard to not get carried away.
It is because look, we are doing it very methodically and systematically, working through it to make sure that when we drill, we've done all the work behind it to make sure that's the right target, exactly the highest priority target. So we're doing all our geochem and geophysics, doing EM, as much work as we can to refine those targets. But now our new targets beyond our known prospects are already up well above 50, and we're just adding it to it by the day. So that's why we're drilling for the next 6-12 months non-stop, because we've just got so many targets and prospects. And look, there'll probably be some dusters in amongst that, but it's what we've hit so far. We're off to a flying start, and we've hit some cracking results.
You've done very well in just the short amount of time you've been on the market. Now, on a corporate perspective, can you give us an overview of the shareholder registry and who the team is behind Arika, as we know investors definitely use it as a metric to see the investment potential of a company?
Yeah, look, we just actually changed our names about 12 months ago to Ara Resources. We had a few legacy issues in our previous projects and the like, and so we made a conscious decision. We chose a full board and rebranded and did a share consolidation. And obviously on the back of these projects, we've relaunched. And look, so we've got Roger Steiner-Price, who's joined the board as a chairman. And Roger's got a fantastic history. He was previously chairman of Apollo Consolidated Group, who got taken out by Ramelius. And actually Roger's also involved in Methodical Resources, who are doing amazing stuff at the moment, gold producing, or just started producing gold. So he came on the board, and I've known Roger for 30 years and very well respected in the industry. Steve Valiance is our exploration manager. He's just joined us as our technical director. Awesome. Now, Steve's transformed what we're doing at these projects. Steve's very old school in the way he goes about things. He still draws all his sectional interps.
We love it.
And he's incredible, and literally he's just changed what we're doing. He's come on as a technical director. Awesome. Now, Steve's got a history. He was back in Jubilee mining days, he was one of the chief exploration geologists back then. So he's got incredible experience, and we love the way he operates. So we're really excited that he wanted to join the board. And also have Stephen Wood, who I've known for a number of years. He works for a number of junior companies in the company secretary space. He's a director on a number of boards, but highly respected company secretary and really amazing guy, and just adds so much to the company. So we've got a fantastic board behind us, and and that's sort of part of the I think the excitement in taking it forward. We're all significant shareholders. Roger's our largest shareholder. We've brought all our shares online. All the directors are shareholders, and we've all brought our shares, and we keep buying shares. We're all big believers in this project.
That's exactly what investors want to see, that it's a founder-led and also a company that those at the helm know and trust. So your passion definitely comes across to our investors. Justin, finally, why is Arika Resources a compelling investment opportunity right now?
I think the most exciting thing is, we've spoken about where it is, who's around us, the stuff we're hitting. Now, we started we did a large capital raise at the end of June. We raised $5 million to undertake a 10,000 metre drilling program. Well, we're 11,000 metres into that program already. We've only just started getting our first lots of results back, so we're going to have results coming through fairly constantly now for the rest of the year and into next year. And we're not stopping drilling. We've got so many targets, and we've only got one drill rig at the moment. We'll possibly bring on a second one to have one at each project. But just the news flow and the results coming through, it's a really exciting time for investors, and we think there's a real step change in the company about to happen. And like I say, with everyone's eyes on us, we think there's a pretty exciting ride for shareholders to get on board with.
As Trump says, drill baby drill.
Drill baby drill, drill baby drill.
Justin, thank you so much for joining us from the Helm today. If you enjoyed that episode as much as we did filming it, be sure to subscribe to all the Bell Financial YouTube channels to stay up to date with all commentary, market insights, and of course, exclusive interviews.